It's the People's Podcast Show with Adrian Biddle, Melissa Bartlett, and your boy Kerry Bixby. It's your show, so tell us what you want to talk about. It's the Roundtable Podcast Show.
Family, it's that time of day again. The one, as Melissa will be saying, I just couldn't wait for.
Couldn't wait for it.
Yes, I'm really digging our guest that we're going to introduce momentarily. But before we do, let me introduce my sister in the upper left-hand corner, Miss Melissa, aka Miss Pitbull. How are you doing today, Miss Pitbull?
I am wonderful. The rain is not putting a damper on my mood, family. It is raining cats and dogs here in Charlotte. However, we are crossing our fingers and our toes to make sure that our connection stays connected and strong, because we do not want to miss anything or have any interruptions with our guest tonight and his lovely wife. And so I'm excited. Wednesday is my day. It gives me my moment. I'm halfway through the week and it rejuvenates me after doing the show to go on for the rest of the week. I got my brother A Money. I'm going to behave again, A Money. I'm not going to mess with you this evening. I'm going to be a good girl, okay?
We'll see. We'll see about that. And
we
of
are
course,
missing our other brother, CD Carey. We're sending prayers out to him as he recovers from surgery. So, yeah, I'm great. What about you?
doing well. As we were just now talking before we came on air, just trying to stay dry and cool with this unpredictable weather. But other than that, I'm doing good. Above ground and here to see another day.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
so with these two young people that we have on right now, I'm gonna go ahead and let you do the introduction, young lady.
I knew
I know
you were
you
gonna.
love it. I
I
know you love
knew
it.
you were gonna
I
do this.
know you love it. Go ahead and do that intro.
Really? So, family, tonight we have Uncle Win and his wife, Precious. They are, we just found out they had a radio show at one time.
Mhm.
We are like just ecstatic because I love music. So anytime we have a musical guest, I'm kind of like a little kid, like woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And Uncle Win has the jam. What's the name of the jam? A Money.
Y'all aren't ready for this. Y'all aren't ready for this. Y'all are not ready. Let
Because I
me.
know you know it.
Oh, you know I do. You know I do. And that particular song. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Because you done had a couple, sir. Reading the list.
Yes.
Let's see. Let's do it again. And let me emphasize that. Let's do it again. But we're gonna touch on that. We're gonna touch on that. But
Y'all
how
see he
are you?
trying to pull me in. Y'all see he trying to pull me in. He trying to pull me in, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not.
But how are y'all two doing, family?
We're doing wonderful. Excellent. So happy to be here.
Glad to have you on. Glad to have you on. Now, initially, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna get in with you too, also, Precious. But initially, Uncle Win,
Yes, sir.
you started off in gospel, correct? That's where you kind of
Correct.
started off in.
Start off with gospel.
Okay, and transition so far over to R&B.
Yes, the last project that I'm doing now is R&B, but I started out in gospel. It was
Okay.
I made my first record at the age of 13, 14.
So how is first question for you? How easy was it or difficult was the transition going from gospel to R&B? Because you make it seem seamless.
No, no, well, no, it was hard for me because singing gospel all my life, and then once I moved up to where I was that was my living, my livelihood. So it was kind of hard coming out of that and going on. So what I did was 2013, my last gospel album that I put out was titled "I May Be Hopping." I
Mm.
said, that's it. So I just stopped. It took me about almost 7, 8 years to really make my mind up to say, hey, what am I going to do when I go back? But during that time, I was doing a lot of research and studying everything, and I've grown spiritually. So hey, since I've grown spiritually, know who and what and why I am. Hey man, I just move right on into it, man, with no condemnation, no nothing, because what it is, what it is. It's in me, and I can do it, so I'm gonna do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And see what I like about them too, Mel, is that they're a tag team.
They
This is
are.
the true pinnacle of a husband and wife dynamic duo doing their thing on the scene.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you
Yes.
so much. Thank you.
I was
Hmm.
so excited when I joined and I saw her sitting there and I was like, is that his wife? Oh, yes, this is going to be great.
Yes.
Yes, yes. It better be my wife sitting under me like this.
That's right.
It better because we had started some trouble. Now, Uncle Win, when we came on, I was joking and I said your music is so soulful and it's what I grew up on. And we often, label it the brown liquor music. You be drinking and thinking, but we have to have a whole bunch of brown liquor if it wasn't
Okay.
Miss Precious sitting over there. Okay.
I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, she's my right.
Mhm.
It's like we was made for each other.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Is it me?
No, it's not you. Look like there's like we may have lost them briefly. Hopefully they can come back in. Let me see if I can adjust something. And while we're doing that,
Because I have to ask him about this song. Since we talking about church and the transition, I have to ask him about this song. So we have
yes,
to get him back.
hopefully the connection will unfreeze. Let's see.
All right, let's see if they'll come back in.
Okay.
Something about this. I knew it. This freaking weather.
Yes. Just can't get out of his own way. But the cool thing about them though is and you pretty much touching on it too, is just that old school sound of music that really took you back. I mean, the stuff that your parents used to play on the record player, that's the type of stuff that I I grew up listening to as
Right.
well. And when I say that he's hitting on all of that,
Yes.
taking you back, he is
Yes.
certainly doing that.
Let's do it again. Is on my play, like it's on my list. Like, yeah. So I
And
said, oh, I know this song. Yes, I do.
and that was the staple singers, I think, the original one. I had to look that up, but I remember hearing that coming playing a lot in my household too. One of the favorites.
His version is good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
His,
I
yeah.
like it. Yes, he killed it. Killed it. Let's
Are
see.
they coming back? Let me see. Let me try to send them a message.
Okay. In the meantime, let me welcome Mahogany. She says, "Hey everybody. Hey Mahogany, appreciate you joining us this evening." And of course,
Charlie too.
her other road dog, hey Charlie. And she says, this weather is bananas here too, money. Yeah, I mean I think like you were saying earlier, Mel, it's just like it's been almost like clockwork right around 5ish or so. the clouds start rolling in, and you hear that rumble in the background,
Right.
and there you
Right.
go. Well, while we're waiting for them to reconnect, you know what? Off topic, off topic. Forgive me, family out there too. The off topic thing that I just learned about, and I didn't know it was such a thing. Forgive me, everybody, but did you know it was a such thing called swamp booty?
What
Yeah.
is that?
So I think it's mostly something that males get, gentlemen get when it's hot and they're sweating and perspiring all over the place, and it gets in the nether regions and things of that nature, and it can cause itching and chafing and things of that nature. I heard about it on the sports talk radio show. I said, what
Because
is?
it's humid?
I guess I would say, what is swamp booty?
Or
Uh,
isn't that, shouldn't you be using cornstarch or something like that?
Yeah, that was somebody's suggestion in order to avoid it. I it just it just had me in the floor when I know Charlie. Charlie says,
Right, Charlie.
yeah, I know. Just trying to keep the dialogue going, but yeah,
Charlie. Charlie, this is the dialogue with people who eat sea loaf and chitterlings. This is the kind of stuff that they talk about and they watch.
we have Shave Escape as a product. Yeah, for the gentlemen who our brothers who may be going out there and dealing with it, I don't have a problem with it. Just throw that on the record. But it would just amaze me when I heard that it was such a thing. Yeah, so I heard that there's a lot of people that deal with that. I was saying, wow, that's that's some crazy stuff. But anyhow, we're not going to blame that on chitterlings because chitterlings don't have anything to do with it. If anything, it's actually a skin purifier, and uh, it also adds oil to your skin as well. So we're not going to blame chitterlings on that. So you can take chitterlings out of the
Yay!
vocabulary.
They're back. They're back.
Sorry, so the
Oh no,
Wi-Fi
you're fine.
went out. I had to troubleshoot.
Oh no, you're fine. We were having a lively conversation in your
Uh,
absence. Are you
it was
rolling
too
your eyes?
lively, Precious. Too lively.
It was too lively.
I cannot with A Money, honey. A Money is a nice Southern country man, and we got on the topic about how humidity affects certain males in certain climates and in certain areas.
Oh,
And I said, "Oh, well, no, I never heard of his
What is it?
topic."
Swamp booty. Well, I don't see why you're
what?
dancing around. It's called swamp booty.
Oh, God.
Well,
But anyway, real quick, Charlie, one of our fans, she well family, not friendly. She actually has a product that actually helps with that. So that's her sharing that. So
Well, that's
getting back to you all, our apologies about that.
it's
So what me and Mel were talking about before you dropped off. Go ahead, Mel, because I ain't gonna intrude
So
unless you were gonna ask
we
me.
were at the point where we were talking about the transition into church and then to the secular world. I'm a PK, so I know that transition. I know that unlearning of tradition versus having your own spiritual walk and your own, practices. So, Uncle Wynn, I gotta ask you, give me a little insight about Pimps in the Pulpit. I got to know what was the motivation behind that song.
well, like I said, my transition, when your eyes begin to be open and you start seeing things, and when you dive into the word for yourself, because what I did, I turned the television off. I stopped going around the churches. I took 2 years off, and I just went into the Word for myself. I needed to know some things for myself. There was questions that I had, and when I asked people that they couldn't answer it, I'm like, what do you guys believe in? You don't have no answer for it. It's like, so I decided to search for myself, and that's when I discovered that a lot of stuff that the church was doing wasn't scripture, wasn't biblical. It was just made up stuff, traditions and stuff. So right now today, I don't subscribe to no kind of organized religion. So, I'm a spiritual person. Yes, I believe in God, but maybe not like a lot of people do. But my life is so beautiful now, so it's a wonderful thing, to be free, to be yourself, and to know, what, who, and why you're here. It's a beautiful thing. I never could discover that in religion because it always led me to a God on the outside of myself. That's all I got to say. So I know you know what I'm talking about.
Drop that mic. Drop that mic.
Boom.
So, one of the other things that I'm seeing, like I said, the collaboration between both of you two, both of you are owners of Uncle Wayne Productions. So, my question is for Precious. Do you sing also?
No, I don't. You know what though? I have done some background vocals on a few of his songs. So like when he needs me, I'm there. Like we really support each other. So yeah,
That's what I'm talking
the extent of that. Mm-hmm.
Teamwork.
And how long have you guys been together?
Next year will make 10 years that we've been together. Mm-hmm. Yep.
10 years, and relationship. Some people say it's like a business. It be up and down.
Mm-hmm.
I keep it real. It haven't been easy because there's an age difference between us. But once we understood what unity, what marriage really means, what relationship means, it makes it so much easier because everything you do, it's really being in the right energy and the right vibration. So
Exactly.
it doesn't have anything to do with age. It's nothing like that, So, but society say one thing, but she know who she is. I know who I am. So we just brought our two worlds together, and life is beautiful.
And I'm going to tell you right now, there is nothing like a woman who wears happiness on her face. There's not a makeup that can top it. There's not a skincare line that can do it. When you have your woman glowing how she is, you doing your job.
She glowing.
She glowing. She glowing. She is proud sitting next to her king. Okay.
Yes. So our third member is chiming in, saying congratulations on the marriage and everything.
Oh, thank you.
So much. Thank you so much.
Although we've been together 10 years, we tell people it feels like 15, 20 years because we are around each other like all of the time. I work from home. He does the music from home. So like there hardly is ever any time that we're separated. So yeah.
Oh, that was gonna be my next question for you. I was gonna see how you are handling business and personal lives. With you working so closely, does that hinder your working processes at all? Or?
Well, I be in the studio and then she be in her office. But we do take time out through the day a lot of times. She come up, I go down. But it's the experience. It's like most people get together. The husband and the wife go out 8, 9 hours a day. Then they see each other. Sometimes get so tired when they come and they get back up. It's the same thing. But the experience that we have is beautiful, and I think it's different than a lot of people because. Like she say, we've been together 10 years, but it's like more 20, to me, 20, 25 years because, we right in each other's face all the time. So when COVID hit, a lot of couples were breaking up and complaining. I want to go back to work. We was like, hey man, life is beautiful.
Yeah,
we used to.
We've been doing it, yeah.
That's all right.
The upstairs and the downstairs was just not enough space, but you know.
It does help though. It helps. It helps that we can kind of go into our own separate areas.
Yeah, you do have to have that break every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking on your style, Uncle Win, I think I'm gonna read a quote from you, and I want you to talk about this a little bit because I think this is gonna actually hint on the type of singer that you are and the kind of view you have towards music. So this quote is saying that taking you back to when love songs and music had warm feelings of true love. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Yes, I can do a lot of expounding on that.
Have it.
The way society is now, they calling it love, but it's more of a lust thing. Well, I mean, when I say take me back to true love, so when people say, what kind of singer are you now? What genre? I always say, people used to saying R&B, but it's more of a soul genre because I've done a lot of soul work. She done a lot of soul work. So I understand that love doesn't start with the flesh. Love starts spiritual, then emotional, then physical. Most people just want physical. That's why people some of the stuff that I see is like, hey, I know everybody got, make their own choices, but I myself, I like to get to the root of stuff and really find out what stuff means, Love is giving, caring. I mean, some people think love is like, okay, everything is okay now, oh, I'm so in love with you. But what about the times you can't really stand this person? Do you still love this person? Do you still support this person? So I had to first learn to love myself first. And then when God put her and I together, I was able to love her because I learned to love myself with all my faults and all my weaknesses and all my failures. So I embrace my whole self. So I embrace her. So, hey, man, it's a beautiful thing. So my songs have that type of message in them.
So is it safe to say that Queen Precious is a lot of inspiration from the soulful sound of love?
Yes, that's very, very safe to say. You was expecting another answer?
No, because we don't want we don't want a lot of brown liquor drinking. No, I'm not gonna say another answer.
So I really believe in the power of love when it's understood correctly that you can't give what you don't have.
Right.
How can you love somebody you can't love and accept your own self? That's once I began to understand it, because I used to put, if you go back and look on a lot of my album covers from my gospel days, I mean, most of them, if you didn't know me, you'll look at the cover and say, well, which one is when? I never would try to stand out, be front. I would just try to keep people around and put myself, I always say, hey, put others first, put others first. But the older I get, the more I begin to understand that what heaven has given me is for me. And I don't think it's ego. I don't think I've been on the back burner for a long time. So a lot of things even that happened in my career until I got my wife, and I tell her still some things, she'd be like, you did what? Well, why people don't know about that? I'm gonna say, hey, just lay back with it. But now I understanding that the gift that God gave me is making room for me, so I'm not ashamed to walk out, step out in my gift, and say, hey, this is what it is. It is what it is. So that's what I'm at when it comes to that.
I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna be quiet.
Y'all looking at me kind of strange.
No. It's not strange. It's for me, it's admiration because it's something powerful about a person who stands in their truth, unapologetically saying, "This is who I am." And so you do have a very long resume. I always go in and dig when we have a guest on, and I will say you are truly a humble man, because you could really, there's a lot of things, a lot of appearances on some different projects, you know, and I'm like, oh, not just your own solo albums and projects, but you appeared on some other ones, and I was like, oh, okay. So yes, adding to the anticipation and the excitement of having you on the show, because how does someone as talented as you, how do you collaborate with others? Like, are you able to just do your part and this just done, or you know, have you ever turned down anything that's like, hey, this doesn't fit what I want to do, this doesn't fit how I do, this doesn't fit the type of sound or the type of music that I do?
Oh yes. Some music, it's two ways to look at it. Some music I can hear that I can really groove with and drive with. There's some music, if I'm not feeling it, it's just I don't feel it, you know. But I'm very picky when it comes to, because mostly if I collaborate with someone, we got to be at least somewhere close in the same vibration, somewhere close. But it's certain people that I can't collab with, because I've tried that and they come and lay a verse down, and after I sit and listen to it, I say they don't really understand the concept. They don't understand the concept of the song. So I have to make sure that if it's something they don't understand, we talk about it. And if they can grasp it, a lot of times they say, "Oh, I see what you're saying, Uncle Win." And then when they come back, it be there. I'll be like, "That's what I'm looking for." So I love to collaborate with people. I don't think that that I got it all, that I know it all. I like to sit around and, you know, with musicians and see how they approach recording, see how they approach writing and stuff. So that takes me back when I was younger. I listened to all type of music, from country to hard rock to classical. I mean, I am music. So that's all I've been doing for the last, oh man, 30, 40 years. Forever. So
Yeah.
it has been rough. There's been days where it's been rough. Well, even my family, you know, a lot of people, you know, you should go do this and go do it. Why you the only one this? But I always said the voice inside of me spoke louder than the voices on the outside. So I always followed that voice.
Dang. Another mic drop.
You got me checking myself real closely.
You're not by yourself.
Checking myself. So Uncle Win, you said 13, 14, your first album?
13, 14, my first 45. If you're young and old enough to remember that, that's a long time ago. I and my brothers were rehearsing in the garage, and a guy from Nashville, a producer. I didn't know him until I was older, and I just did a name search, Googled him, and I was like, this guy was a country star, you know. And I told her about it. She was like, that should be in your bio. I don't put stuff, you know, I don't think about stuff like that, you know. So he heard us rehearsing, and he came up and sat, and he had his big cigar, had a big bullhorn on the front of his Eldorado. He gave us the card and said, "You guys want to make a record?" So it was me and my brothers, I and my brothers. So that's the first time I recorded. We went to Nashville, Tennessee, to Woodland Studios. So that's the first time I could really be bit by the music bug. So it never left me. So,
what was the name of the group, the Tonkin?
Yeah, the name of the group was
I'm going to show you guys something.
Okay.
The name of the group was the Tompkins. That's my father's. Can you see
Can you
that?
see it?
Oh yes.
Oh
It
yeah.
remind me of the Jackson. When he showed me this picture, I said, "Oh, that look like a little Jackson."
That is kind of Jackson-esque right there.
Yeah. So that's his dad and his brothers, like he was saying, and then here it tells you the record label they were with. So I surprised him one Father's Day with this. I took the picture and had this made for him.
Oh man, that's nice. So you didn't have it in choice. It was in the bloodline now.
Yeah. So my mother and her sisters used to sing, and my dad said his dad used to sing quartet. So it was in me, just had to be brought out. So, hey man, once that made that first record at the age of 13, 14, I haven't looked back.
It's all right. With both of y'all being the owners of your production company and everything, and I know you probably deal with other talent.
Yeah,
Um, how how is it that you can balance doing what you're doing, and then as far as singing, and you got your wife is managing and also dropping in on background music as well as trying to find that balance to cultivate your talent that you got coming in under you as well.
yeah, like you said, it's a balancing act. But she would tell you when I get in production mode,
He's in production mode.
I'm another whole. I'm a beast. I mean, when I get in production mode, I give you an example. I had got in the music business from 2013 until maybe 2019.
Mhm.
I didn't have a studio. I got rid of all my stuff. I didn't want to do no creative, no nothing. It was time for me to spend time with myself. And when I started to get back into it, maybe 2019, from 2019 over to COVID, all during that time, I recorded about 3 albums. Vocals. I mean, I had musicians coming in and out. I mean, she was helping me on background. I had other people coming in doing background. So right now, I got I got so much music, man. It's hard for me to say. I got over 600 copyrights. So I'm made of music. My father used to call me, say, "You like Joseph with the coat of many colors." So yes, so that's I was born. I'm doing what I was created to do, and so even through the hard times, I mean, when I say hard, I mean hard. There's been times that I was in the wilderness that I didn't have anybody to go to because nobody knew who I was in the wilderness. And if I do talk with someone, it was like I was trying to pull me back into organized religion. I know, no, I can't go right there with it. I gotta keep going forward. So man, I'm gonna tell you, it's a beautiful thing. When I met that person named Win Thomas, when I met the real Win, man, I can't go back to the other stuff, man. No, I can't do it. So I'm free, and me and my wife are just doing what the universe have us doing, man. It's a lovely thing. Life is so beautiful.
It's all right.
Go ahead, A Money. But
Okay, I
I'll
don't
keep
want
talking. I'll keep talking, and we're interviewing them. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you.
All right, I didn't want to overstep. Now you said that you wanted to get away from organized religion. Did you have like because I'm kind of a stickler. I'm on the same page with some of the stuff that you've been saying up to this point with religion. Was it a catalyst or something that just you had that aha moment that just said, you know what, I need to step away, that made you say that you're gonna start reading it up on stuff on for yourself?
Right. Because no one had any real answers for me. Because the answers that I had when I got alone by myself, I wanted to know the answers that. Let me put it this way: I had never heard the answer from nobody, from no televangelists, from no pastor from the pulpit. I needed answers that come from deep within me that was for my benefit, for my uplifting, for my good, not for somebody else's agenda.
Mm.
And once I began to read and find out a lot, man, let me tell you something, man, it's amazing how once you begin to be awakened, and a lot of people afraid of stuff, they thinking, ooh, no, they got, listen, man, listen. When you begin to know where you come from and where you're going, you begin to know that life is a pattern, that life is like, it goes around in circles, it comes back. And I'm able to say, within this circle right now, this is where I am. It's like looking at a clock. I can say, I'm at 12 o'clock, I'm at 9 o'clock. This is the time for reaping now. This is the time for sowing now. This is the time for this. This is the time, man, life is beautiful when you understand that, because all things come from the universe and back to the universe. Water goes back to ice. Ice changes. Cold go back up in smoke, go back to its original state. So I understand what my original state is. I understand why I'm here. So it's a beautiful thing to know that. But like I say, when you believe in something on the outside of yourself and you pray and you worship that, you really worship in an unknown God, because you've never been out there. You don't know anything about that. Only thing you know about is what's in you.
I gotta do it again.
Also a philosopher. Add that to the mix.
I'm not trying to turn this into a spiritual study, man. You asking the question, I'm just asking.
No, you speak your
No,
truth.
that's it, Uncle Wayne. Because we're here as a family, and we all get information from our guests, and that's why we say there's no program or no proper, we want you to speak from your heart, from your soul, because our family listens, or people who can't watch us live go back and watch it, and we get messages saying, wow, I really enjoyed that. That helped me during this time. This helped me going through this. So however you are being led to share. Precious, I do have a question for you.
Mhm.
Being married to a man of such vast, this sounds cliche, but literally vast substance. Is it challenging for you sometimes? Because everybody has their own separate path, even though you are a unit and you are in a union. Do you find it sometimes difficult to kind of be aligned when he's where he is?
Yeah, so in the beginning, it was very difficult. That what he spoke of earlier with the clashing. We did a lot of clashing in the beginning because I was raised in a very strict biblical home, going to the the prayer meeting, like all of that, prayer meetings, revivals, and this and that. So talking to him, and he's not with that stuff. I'm like, heathen, like, what are you doing? So we used to get into a lot of disagreements, but then I don't know, one day it was just like something just clicked and said, just listen, just open up and just listen. And I started listening. I started meditating and just really searching for the truth. And just one day it started making sense. Things just started aligning and just making sense. So now we are on one accord, thank God. But yeah, we're on one accord now. Like he said, it's a beautiful thing, but it was a journey getting here. It was
a beautiful journey.
Yeah, it's that's why I tell anybody that I speak with, when it comes to stuff like this, it's almost like you have to be patient, and you got to be patient, especially with your wife, because everybody don't grow at the same at the same speed or the same tempo or whatever. You got to allow people to listen and allow that seed. Cause I used to tell her all the time. I said, "Well, I done dropped the seed." I said, "You can't unhear what I done told you." So I just but I let the universe handle that. I just the planning. then watering, and then the increase. I start to see her change and talk different, see things different. So life is a beautiful thing if you just let the universe work and get out of the way, move the blocks out of the way, and let the universe work, because the universe is always for you. There's never a moment that is not for you. The problem is we are not for ourselves to understand that the universe is for us. So when we begin to agree with the universe and say it's done with the universe, life just turns around, begins to just work. Because the universe is not straining to make stuff grow. It just grows. It's not straining to make stuff work. It just works. So man, I'd rather be a part of that party. I don't want to be a part of the struggling party. Life just flows, man. And once you get into that flow of life, create that vacuum, you can't help but just be blessed. So the universe takes you to places that, above all the things that you can imagine, it said that it can do above all that you can ask or imagine. But if you keep reading, it say, according to the power which is at work within you, it covers how much you allow that power to work within you. It'll give you more than you can ask or imagine.
Ooh, boy,
I don't
I'm
want to start
already.
preaching on this show, man.
Ooh, I'm
Uncle
already
Win in my
feeling
business.
spiritually full over here. That's all right,
Uncle
right
Win
there.
in
Some
my
deep
business.
stuff.
Look, I'm like this precious. Ouch, ouch. She stepped on my toes. Ouch,
Yeah.
ouch, ouch.
And that's how, oh my goodness, that was me in the beginning. Like just something, just like loving myself. So I went, before I got with him, I was coming out of a very bad relationship, and just being around people that were so superficial, and just care about shallow stuff. And then getting with him, and he's so deep, and he's teaching me and telling me you got to love yourself no matter what. And I felt free to, like for instance, I went and like cut all my hair off. Like he was just teaching me how to just love everything about me. And now I do. Like you might see me like this, and you might see me like with some plaits in my head, and I don't care. I love everything about me. But I needed someone to be there beside me and encouraging me, you know what I mean, and motivating me to do that, because the times that we're living in now, people are so superficial, and you're afraid to, just be yourself, because you're gonna get criticized, or your edges ain't laid right, and just all this ridiculousness, right? So
Right.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you have someone to just love you unconditionally. Really, that's what you're doing. Yeah.
And this is it. Hey, money. This is what we hear in his music.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is
Right
what we
with
hear
it.
in his music.
That what is it? That warm feeling that you quote that I was reading from that quote, and that's the thing that's certainly missing from songs right now. But let's touch on "Let's Do It Again." Now, if I didn't know any better, this song sounded like it was tailor made for you. What you did with that,
That's what everyone's saying.
that thing is on point. So how did that come about?
Well, my father was a big Staple Singers fan. Growing up in a Christian home, listen, either you listen to Shirley Caesar,
Hmm.
the Mighty Clouds, the Staples. Yeah, I know what I'm talking
The
about.
Violinaires.
What?
Look, that's his
What
favorite
man?
group.
What you
Oh
know
my
about the violin?
My dad used to listen to it all the time.
Man, let me tell you something. Man, I followed. We was like little boys, man. It's like, and if we did something wrong, and my dad said, "Well, you're not going to see the violinaires when they come." Oh my God! Like my world was ending. So, you know, but once I heard the Staple Singers when they came out with "Let's Do It Again," a lot of people said, "Oh, they're doing secular," but I never did see it like that. I never did look. I looked at music as it crossed genres. It's like it's a language that everybody can get into. Like, give you an example, my youngest son, when he was like 6 years old, he didn't want to hear nobody but James Brown. I mean, so
Wow.
music is music to me.
Hmm.
So once I heard "Let's Do It Again," even when it first come out, I was younger, but I said, I want to record that one day. I didn't know how many years ahead of time. I didn't know how long or what I had to go through. But finally, the timing was right. And I told my wife, when she come in the studio and I was building the track, I told her, I said, it's time for me to do it. I said, watch. I said, the nation's going to jump on this. Let's
sure
do it
did.
again. I
He
said,
did.
I feel I can do a good job on it. So that's how that came about.
Tore that thing up, rebuilt it, and tore
Yes.
that down again.
Yes, a terrific cover. And
Hmm.
there's a local bar up the street from my home,
Uh-huh.
and it plays, a genre, mixed genre, but you're in rotation. Your cover is in rotation. So just so you know, Charlotte is listening.
Really?
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
Oh,
wow.
okay. That's
Yes.
good to know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, I guess we're gonna be coming into Charlotte.
Y'all need to come on, come on. You
And I
got
always
people here, and that you touched on one of my questions. How does it make you feel when the younger generation knows you? I have a old coworker. Her grandson is still obsessed with Charlie Wilson. Everything Charlie Wilson, old music, Gap Band, up the current, and she's like, I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe it. It's something about that music that touches the soul. There is no age limit on it. So, how do you feel when you have that younger generation reaching out to you, or telling you like that's their jam, and you're like, wow, okay.
It makes me feel real good because I'm able to. The universe has given me a sense. It's kind of hard to explain. I'll give it this way. My first big records all came about by just listening and putting ingredients inside of something. And once I feel, for instance, I went and joined a Baptist church before I put out my first single gospel album called Foot Stomping. This Holy Ghost universe, whatever you want to call it, led me there for a year. When I went there, I told the pastor, I said, I'm going to be here for a year. He said, when it's time for you to leave, you'll know when it's time for you to leave. I felt the energy in that church. That's when I went and recorded the first Foot Stomping. And when I put that song out, that's the single was 30 minutes long.
Wow.
And it went from song to song to song to song. And the big stations jumped on it, and they was playing it twice on Sundays because it had that energy. It had that old Baptist energy, and I pulled in some of the Church of God in Christ energy. So I just went from old song to old song. No music, not no piano, no guitar, nothing but hand clapping, foot stomping.
Woo.
So I was able to do that. So when it came to this song, I know it's a song that a lot of young people don't know about, and then it's a nostalgia for people that do. So what I'm going to do is, I know I got the soulful sound on top with my voice. I said, but I'm going to take the music, and then I'm going to put a little trap. You listen to the hi-hats, and then I put a little hip-hop. You hear the lady go, So I put all those ingredients. So when I first released it down in South Florida to a couple of stations, man, there was some young guys in it. They was like, they was so excited. They was like, Uncle Win, you got that trap up under there, got that trap. So I told my wife, I looked at her, I said, see, I told you it's gonna work. So that's how I do a lot of my music, because when I released my album, the Leaning Tree album, I mean, I told people, I say, a lot of old seniors gonna be sitting on their front porch, and they're gonna have their sons and daughters go find this record. And people are looking at me like, really? I said, what? And when I released that record, I go to the Carolinas, South Carolina, Mississippi, Georgia, all those southern states, and I kid you not, people in the 80s and 90s were walking up to me saying, I made my daughter go find that record. Exactly the way I saw it, because the leaning tree ain't always the first to fall. I knew that would touch them. And then on my other record, following that 2013, that I got what a Stella, what you call it?
Stellar nomination.
Yeah,
Award.
Stella Award nomination. Is a song I put on a call. I may be hopping, but I ain't stopping. So that was another song. So plus I used to do a lot of volunteering at the Meals on Wheels. I used to go out and sing for the old people at the recreation center, the seniors. I don't know why I said that. I used to sing for the seniors at the recreation centers, and go by and take them coffee and sit there and talk with them. And they used to just sit and tell me stories, and so one day I heard this old lady. She said, "Child, my leg be bothering me, but I ain't stopping." I said, "Okay." She said, "I may be hopping, but I ain't stopping." I knew that's a song. So I recorded it. Hey man, and the rest is history. So, and the same thing is happening now with this song here. Now I'm able to take nostalgia and put just a little bit of flavor on it and keep moving. I got other songs like that gonna be coming out in the future too.
Ooh, that's what I'm sure Melissa was gonna beat me to it, because we're gonna one of us always ask it. So what's getting ready to happen? What you got in the back burner that's gonna be exposing us in a little bit?
That's right. What you got in the lab, Uncle Win? What we need to do? Because I got my Apple, my Spotify. I'm on all of it, so all your stuff is out there, and I'm on the phone right now, like download. I'm going back. I got your new stuff. I'm going back.
I can give you some of them, some of the original, but I can't give you the cover songs because somebody might try to beat me to it.
Oh, well, no, we don't want that. We want you to do it.
The covers, the original songs. I have a song that I'm featuring Jimmy Bohorn. Did you remember Jimmy Bohorn?
It sounds
I'm
familiar.
familiar with Jimmy.
Yeah,
Dance Across the Floor.
Like we're friends. Yeah, I'm familiar with Jimmy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm doing a song with him entitled "Get Her Done." So it's talking about it's talking to young men when it comes to love, how to love your woman. If she need a friend, you be a friend. If she needs someone to talk to, learn to listen. And if she need loving and hugging, give her that. So whatever you do, get her done. Just like the moon is for the night and the day is for the sun. Just like the earth is for the rivers to run. So just like nature knows how to get stuff done for your woman, get her done. So
I'm about to take my darn head.
You better get you a notebook. Y'all better write that down. He gave y'all some game. Y'all better get it, baby. Just like the moon. You better get it. Uncle Winnie gave y'all just a smidget of what to do. Y'all better have your notebook ready.
Thank you. So that's I got one called Miss Right. And then there's a one called Come With Me. And then there's one called Sweet and Better. I like that song as a single because it talks about how people think that we shouldn't be together because I guess we are age different, the way we look. But it comes in and says everybody thought that you wasn't the girl for me. They were saying, how can I really fall head over in love with you? But then when the hook comes in, say, life is, love is getting beautiful and more beautiful, getting better and better, sweeter and sweeter. So those are the type of songs that I write,
Man.
So you're humble too, Precious. Queen Precious, you're humble too because y'all know Miss Pitbull would have been like, yes, that's about me.
Yeah, I am. You just don't understand. I'm so grateful for him. I thank God every day for him. Like I said, before we got together, I went through a really bad experience, but I know that I had to go through that to be able to appreciate him.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh man, well, this is real nostalgia going on right here. I mean, just listening to a couple of your lyrics and everything, and hearing you talk, that in itself is what's missing from music. just the basics, just talking about love and what brought you a good storyteller, and that's something that I noticed about you, that carries a lot of weight, and in comparison to a lot of songs that's out right now that it skips the love part, and you in the bedroom and everything else, and
Right.
you don't really gain the meaning that you and your wife been pretty much talking about throughout this interview. So I commend both of you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
So we're talking about albums. Have we thought about some literature? Are there any books coming?
Yes, yes. I have a book. It's really finished. I just got to do the editing. But it's a book about, how would I say this? It's titled Dibble Dabble.
Oh,
And it's saying learn to dibble and dabble in other people's beliefs so that you can understand exactly where they're coming from. Because I've learned through studying, I got Baha'i friends, I got Science of Mind friends, I got Unity friends,
Buddhist.
I got
Yeah.
Buddhist friends. I get around everybody everywhere I go, and she'll tell you it's like, "Hey, Win," So I'm cool with everybody because I let people be who they are, and they allow me to be who I am. Don't force your beliefs on me, and I won't force mine on you because before religion ever came about, we were human. We can live without religion, but religion cannot live without man. So when it comes to that, it's like, hey, I'm a very free person when it comes to that. I try not to judge people because I don't know everybody's experience. I don't know people's story. Once you start hearing what people have been through, then you sit back and say, wow. Then you see how blessed you are. So, man, I've learned, hey, man, just live and let live.
wow. And I think that's what's missing in society. I think humanity is missing. Everyone's trying to find a place.
Yeah.
And if they would just practice being human, if they would practice the very nature that God has designed us to operate in,
Right.
without all the distractions of titles and affiliations and the 5 minute social media fame.
Mhm.
If we would just practice being human, it would be a
Yeah.
lot happier.
And if we would listen, because my wife, she never went to all those different places till she met me.
Yeah.
And she noticed, she was like, these places we go in, I can feel the love.
Right.
And it's everybody talking about the same thing, they just using different words. But if you so caught up in tunnel vision, I don't want to hear nothing but this. This is it. This is the truth. Whatever. You're going to always be in that little box, always isolated. And I always said this, any religion that calls separation cannot be good. When you start telling people, don't go over here because these people did, stay separated from these people, don't go, something's wrong with that. So, man, I done been around. I done sought with people. I done sought with monks. I done sought with bishops. I done just sit around and just ask people questions and really see. I used to hear people talk about certain religion. Oh, don't talk to those people that they believe in this and that and that. After I got old enough from under my parents, I said, you know what? I said, I'm gonna go ask them people myself. I go to the where the Muslim was, I go to their temple. I said, man, what y'all believe? I want to know. And come to find out, a lot of them talking about the same thing. They just using different words. But the reason people can't discover that, everybody think they're right in their own box and won't listen to the other person.
There
So
you
that's
go.
what my book is about. Dibble dabble. Dibble in somebody else's belief, dabble in somebody else's belief, and you don't have to relinquish yours. At least you know now where that person is coming from and why they make choices that they make.
That's right.
Boy, I'm talking about true wisdom being dropped.
Speak it up.
Okay.
This is true. And oh wow, I can talk to you and Precious boy. I feel like we need to get a plane ticket, A-Money. We need to go down visit Uncle Win and Precious. We can sit down, have some
Come on
greens and
down. Come
cornbread,
on.
and eat the
Charlotte,
taco dump.
look, you've been to Tampa. I've never been to Charlotte, so I would love to come that way. So.
Oh, we'll come. She'll come now.
Okay.
Come on. Come on. Well, this has been a true pleasure. I mean, when I said I'm spiritually full, like I said earlier, I certainly mean that. Talking with both of you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
So how can our family continue to keep up with you, Uncle Win and Precious? Are you working on anything separate from the production, or you're solely in the production?
Yeah. So right now, my 100% attention has gone to promoting Let's Do It Again. Before that, I was becoming an influencer on TikTok and Instagram, talking about the importance of your credit. And once you have good credit, the many different things that you can do, how to leverage yourselves. But once he dropped the single, I just put that to the side and got behind my man, and I said, let's rock this. So that's what I've been doing for the past 2 months, 100% supporting him. But as far as Uncle Win, you can follow him on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's all official Uncle Win. TikTok, the same. And the website, www.unclewinsmusic.com. And yeah, just give us a follow, and you're going to get some really good content. I'm the one that updates the content. So I try to keep that fresh and entertaining. So yeah, we would love it if you gave us a follow. Oh, and stream the music. If you have Spotify, like you were saying earlier, Apple Music, we would love if we get those streaming numbers up. Yeah.
All right.
You got anything?
No, you said it all. You said it all.
Well, family, there you have it. Follow them. Stream it. Enjoy it. Again, thank you, Uncle Win and Precious, for joining us. It has certainly been enlightening, truth telling, and a blessing. So,
Thank you.
family,
Thank you for having us.
Likewise.
oh, it's our pleasure.
And Uncle Win, you kept me acting good, because I can't act bad getting all that spiritual food that you was dropping off, and all that inspiration and all that creativity from your music. So I appreciate you keeping me behaving.
I really appreciate you guys for having me, and thank you for helping me to share my story and my message, because the music is only a stage. The music is just a stage.
Our pleasure. So, family, that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us, and our guests. And CD, continue prayers, and we'll see you all back next Wednesday.
All righty.
All righty.
God
Thank
bless.
you. Have a good night.